Good to see you back, guys. Let's start right. Stand for a word of prayer. Come on, good way to start your day. Your brain is just now waking up. How many of you actually slept in till noon almost every day? No one? My brother would let me do that. You know what? The fact that you're alive and kicking at this time is good. Go back and thank your brother. Okay, kiddos, let's start with a word of prayer. Sovereign Lord, help me for your name's sake. Out of the goodness of your love, deliver me. Amen. Go ahead and have a seat, friends. Go ahead and have a seat. So in class, we are actually doing both the preview notes, which I will shortcut a couple things, and the in-class lesson, and I will shortcut something on that as well. So your homework will be your next preview note, 8.1, part 2, just FYI. Okay, quick introduction to what we're doing. We are dealing with area and volume for the next 7 weeks. Area and volume, it's very practical. In a normal school year, it's very hands-on. This school year, obviously, I have to shortcut a bunch of stuff. But it's all equation-based. So if you can memorize and manipulate equations, you're like good to go. Before we do that, though, I'm going to send you guys to breakout rooms, you guys really quick. And I'd like you to do the very simplistic recap, maybe 20 to 30 seconds each, highlights of your Easter break. You guys get out your cell phones. If you actually have pictures, I know Sophia has some amazing pictures, sir. You actually have pictures of your adventures. You're welcome to share them. You guys are going to your breakout rooms, folks, and about 20, 30 seconds each, you are actually jabbering. Okay, go. You guys talk to each other. So you Aquatics, you talk to each other, you Parish, talk to each other. You have to go very far? No. Yeah? Yeah? Yeah. So Devin, you and Edwin talk. So you both have pictures. How fun was that? Sophia, did you see? Show pictures. Have you ever been to the Grand Canyon? No. Oh, how amazing. Of course, you have to do it slightly from a distance, but. Ooh, where's that? Big Sur. Ooh, Big Sur. Wait a minute. Is that freeway even open? Because there's a place in Big Sur you can't go. We got pretty far down the freeway, and then a detour. Yeah, well, I got pictures. That's gorgeous. Where'd you go? Really? I'm so surprised. Yeah, I got a picture of my friend. Really? I got a picture of my friend's dog. I got a picture of my house. A picture of my friend's dog. Oh, that's adorable. Who has the plane, Devin? That's even more adorable. I've got a cat of mine. My dad's dog. How nice. How nice. What about you two? Go anywhere? No. Oh, well, okay. I think you get largest distance traveled. How nice. Very nice. Looks like you're enjoying yourself. I am so glad. I don't know about you guys at home, but we had people who went to Cancun and Grand Canyon and Big Sur and visited family and went out to eat. I'm making it my ambition to try to go out to eat every week because I know these restaurants are dying for this. So anywhere that has an outdoor eatery, I'm trying to eat out once a week just for giggles. So fabulous, guys. Go to your preview notes. We're going to zoom through the first preview note together. Zoom through the first preview note together. So you are looking at this. I'll wait about 15 seconds to make sure you're in the right place. No, very first page, guys. First page. First page. Since we don't have a sign off, I'd like you to write this word at the top. Write beach. Nice and big. That tells me you were in class, paying attention. And for the majority of us, this is where we would rather be at this very moment. Okay, to the right you go. We're starting with something very simplistic. You guys at home, unmute and play along. You guys in class out loud. Area of a rectangle. What? times what? Out loud, what times what?
Length times width.
And also what? So we're actually doing both. You are correct. Let's start with the one you learned probably in second grade. Area of this equals length, which is the longer side, times width. That's what you were most likely introduced around second or third grade. But Hudson correctly identified, we could also call this the base times, because there's a right angle here, we can use the word height. Base times height. Super important. When I say all of these, the next 7 weeks is based on equations. Whenever you see an H in any equation, height, there is always going to be a right angle. Warning, in every single equation, height means there's going to be a right angle. When you see height in class, what do you know is going to be around? Wow, kiddos, everyone except Hudson, this is key. Let's try that again. When you see H in any equation, what do you know is going to be there?
Right angle.
Right angle, that's super important. Now, I'd like you to put your hands like this, like it's a little baby rectangle. Baby rectangle, say base times height. Now, shove it sideways to a parallelogram. Guess what a parallelogram is also? Yeah, because a parallelogram is basically a rectangle shoved sideways. So we come down here. That would be your base, squiggle it. Now, height always creates a right angle. So warning here, kiddos, this black squiggle is not the height because it doesn't make a right angle. On SATs, they love to give you the diagonal there to try to confuse you. The height, because it makes a right angle, either you drop it straight down from one corner, or you could drop it straight down from an outside corner, but it's straight down at a right angle. So base times height. Okay. Kiddos at home, I'd like you to put your finger right where the dot is. Kiddos in class, let's see if we can't read in unison out loud. Ready? Read. The base length of a rectangle is twice its height. The perimeter of the rectangle is 30 feet. What is the area of the rectangle? Let's underline keywords. The most important word here, believe it or not, is that word is. Because is an equal sign. So length is twice the height. We come down here and we write length is twice the height. So because it's a rectangle, that would mean this is height. And that would mean down here, this is 2 times the height. I've accounted for this piece of information. The perimeter is, that's another equal sign, 30 feet. Area is your question mark. Always physically trace the perimeter. Guys, go like this with your fingers, put your fingers here. You guys at home, fingers in front of you like this, go like this, go like this. Watch, say perimeter. Always physically trace your perimeter. Always physically trace your perimeter. So let's trace our perimeter here. Go around, and I like to put a little arrow. Arrow tells me I've gone around. So I know 30, which is my perimeter, equals, if I walk it around, that's 2h, plus, Lua, what am I going to add if I keep going around? Plus h, plus, keep working with me, Lua, plus what? 2h, you got it? Plus what? H, good. Okay, Devin, how many h's do we actually have here? Okay, 6/8 equals 30. You guys, your goal is to find the total area. You at home, I'd like you to send me the answers in the chat, please. In the chat. You're only sending me your final area answer. You guys in class find that answer and then kind of like whisper it to each other or check in with each other. Like solve, kiddo, solve. Solve for H. Solve for H. Not, I want the area. The area. Ask yourself how you would find it. So don't just solve for H, kiddos. You're not done. You have to find the area. So check in. Sophia, are you done? Check in with Devin. See if you guys are getting the same thing. Lua, check in with Sophia. Cameron, I just want the area, ma'am. Not, okay. Mateo, it's unit squared. Unit squared. Technically, no, you're right. It's feet squared. Nice job. Ryan, your number's correct. Just don't forget your unit, sir, which is feet squared. So Hudson, Lauren, you guys checking with each other. Kelly Murphy, nice job. So Edwin and Devin, did you guys check in with each other? What'd you get? Edwin, what'd you get for the H? Sir?
5.
5, great. What would your length be?
Would be 10.
Correct. So your area is?
200.
Try that again. It's base times height. So what's your base?
Oh, I did it wrong.
Yeah. Okay, Jimmy, you're correct. Dylan, you're good. Zach, you're good. Nice. Yes. And you even remembered your units. Jimmy, thank you very much. What'd you get, Lua? 50. What's your units now? No, your units here. Feet what? Okay, what is your height? What did you get for height?
5.
Good. What did you get for the length? It's 2 times the height. Did you see that? 2 times? 2 times 5 is? Yes, ma'am. Alrighty, guys. Next. This one, you're going to write this word, right? Forest. I'll let you skip it. Forest. These are places we'd rather be than math class right now. Beach, forest. Come over here, folks. Go ahead and shade this whole thing. Just rewrite and draw it in, emphasizing that right angle, area of a parallelogram. Of course, it's base times height. Parallelogram is just a rectangle shoved sideways. I'd like you to slice the parallelogram in half. Mr. Sanchez, when you slice the parallelogram in half, what shape are you getting?
Triangles.
Beautiful. So go like this, put an arrow, and here's the simple truth. A triangle is half of a parallelogram, which means the area is, fabulous job. There's your basic triangle equation. Now, if you were to Google it, they'd probably go like this on the SAT, 1/2 base times height. I don't like to use that. And the reason why I don't like that equation is students freak out. Do I do half of the base, half of the height? And it's like, it doesn't matter. So I much prefer that version. It's less confusing. Now there is a slight little caveat here. Put a little star by height because there's like a little weird thing that's going on there. And I want you to just watch this little animation. Hopefully it's still up and running. Yes. Okay, the vocabulary is out, on, and in. What's the vocabulary? Good. So take a look here. You guys at home, I'd like you to unmute and actually play along. See that red? That red's the height. You see it? Okay. In this triangle, that red, is it out, on, or in? All together, it's where? It's in, okay, yes, an acute triangle. Now I'm gonna drag it into a right triangle. Exactly a right triangle. Now it's where? It's physically on. Now I'm gonna drag it into an obtuse triangle. Now it's where? Out. This is kind of important, folks, because SATs love to trip you up using this little concept here. In an acute triangle, the height is inside. In an obtuse triangle, the height drops down outside. And in a right triangle, the height is on a side. So in both of these, put a little caret. Area equals, I'm going to squiggle the base so it's easy to see. Base times height over 2. That's the equation we use for both of these guys. See squiggle? Warning, in an obtuse triangle, the base is that squiggle right there. In a right triangle, there's your height, which would mean there's your base. But I do not want you using that equation. There's a different equation I want you to use, and I'll tell you why. This orange is the hypotenuse. You guys at home, I'd like you to text me, what do we call both of those yellows? Text me. You guys in class rotate, talk to each other. What would we call the yellows? If the orange is the hypotenuse, what do we call the yellows? You guys at home, text me, please. Good job. Yes, they're the legs, folks. So instead of base times height, what I prefer you to use is one leg times the other leg. One leg times the other leg over 2. Leg times leg over 2. That's for a right triangle only, but we'll start by that. And the reason why on the SATs, they love to rotate like that. You see that? So to find that area, you'd be doing leg times leg over 2. That does not look like base times height, because in your brain, base and height, you think bottom. So that's how they try to mess you up. Those evil SATs. Okay. All right, we're doing one more problem together, and I'm going to shortcut just a bit. It says, find the area of the obtuse triangle. So I'd just like you to shade the obtuse triangle. Wiggle the base. Wiggle the height. Lauren, what are we missing here? We're missing something. We have the base, right? Okay, so let's draw an arrow. We have the base. The base is right there. Ta-da! What are we missing? Yes. Ah, Edwin, tell us, why are you using Pythagorean theorem?
You can add 7 to 3, and then you can solve the use.
Close.
Yeah, I can solve that.
Okay.
5, and you can use that.
Yeah, students, this is another classic SAT problem. You are not given the height. Instead, have 2 sides, need third side, Pythag. To solve for that x there, that's going to be leg squared plus leg squared equals hypo squared. You're going to solve for that height, plug it in. The only thing you guys at home are texting me back is you're going to text to me the area of this equation, the area of this obtuse triangle. You guys in class, rotate and talk to each other after you solve for the height. Solve for the height. Go. Which get? Good job. Good job. do the first two problems under the teacher example. Mhm. No, I'm sorry, on the in class. Mr. Ross, your height is not 5, sir. Mr. Ross, your height is not 5. Edwin, you and Devin check in with each other. See what you got. Okay. Lauren, you and Hudson check in with the area. Did you find it yet? Lula, did you get the height? Did you get it? It is 4, but that's only your height. Now you plug it in. Yes. Kira, all I want is the area, ma'am. Just the final answer. Jimmy, try your area again. Your height is correct. Cameron, don't forget your unit. Kira, you're using the wrong height, ma'am. You're using the wrong height. Okay. Hudson, guys, you get 14? Guys, 14? Okay, go to the first page of today's lesson, the teacher example. Start working on problems 1 and 2 under the teacher example. What's your base there? Your base is not 10 there. The base is 7 only. Jimmy, I want the area of the yellow triangle, please. Students at home, I'm sorry if I didn't make myself clear. I want the area of the yellow triangle only. Did you get 14, Edwin?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so you're working on problems 1 and 2 under the teacher example. Okay, start by writing the parallelogram equation down.
Okay.
It is. Nice job. Yeah. Sweetheart, you're making life so hard on yourself. Can you just physically trace the base? Yes, why don't you physically trace the base? Physically trace it. It's completely horizontal, isn't it? You could just bunny hop from the X's. Yeah. Okay, students at home, I'm not sure why this seems so difficult. I've honestly only had 2 of you answer, so I'm obviously going to go over it with you. Your X here should have been 4. And so your base of the yellow triangle is 7. Your height is 4/2. 2 goes in there twice. So the area here is 14 units squared. So those of you that were either kind of slow getting that back to me or got it wrong, can you tell me what the hang up is? Send me a quick text, because that took a lot longer than I expected. What was confusing? So I don't make it confusing next class. Okay, guys, it's 3 squared is 9 plus x squared equals 25. X squared equals 16. Square root x equals 4. All righty, this page, guys. Ready? This last page here, I want you to write really big, bed. Where are the 3 places you most likely would rather be besides math class right now? Beach, forest, or bed? Yes, I still want that loaded up on ClassKit. Go to the first page of today's lesson. We're going to do one more problem together. Look at the top. Yes, you must do these 2 problems. I'm going to skip them. But yes, you do both of these on your own. The problem I'm going to let you shortcut. There is one problem I'm going to let you shortcut. Turn to the last page of today's lesson. The last page of today's lesson. It looks like this. Last page of today's lesson. I'll wait 10 seconds so you're there. Go to the last page. Last page. Find problem 6 only. Last page. Problem 6 only. You can ace out. Problem 6 only. You can ace out. Problem 6. Now, go back to the first page. I'm going to do one more example with you. This one we're going to do together. Sometimes you're going to get shapes that aren't a straight up shape. So you have to, what I call slice and dice. So for example, this is not a rectangle, it's not a parallelogram. So I go like this, and I get myself a triangle, right? I can also go from this corner, go straight across. That's still not anything you recognize, but from this corner, I can go up like this. So we are slicing and dicing here. Ready? Step number 1. I'm going to do this one here. That's a right triangle. So area equals leg times leg over 2. Watch carefully with the fingers. I'm going to start calling you guys at home, so pay attention. Kira, what's one leg, ma'am? Kira, what's one leg? Kira, are you there? Okay. Cameron, what's one leg, ma'am?
6.
Good. Now I'd like you to swing your fingers around. You guys at home too. Put your fingers like this in class. Put your fingers like that. Now watch carefully. Ready? That whole thing is 15. Why? Because I'm down here. You bring the 15 up. Look at my thumb. That's 6. So Cameron, what would be the distance between my fingers, which would be the other leg?
9.
Yes, ma'am. Good job. So this leg is 9. Edwin, do you understand why that's 9, buddy?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm going to take the 2 in there. That's 3. Oh, that's a bad pen. So that ends up being 3, and that's 27 units squared. Now we're going to keep going. This, of course, is a rectangle. Area equals length times width. Okay, look at the fingers. So Edwin, what's our length here?
That is 15.
Good. What's our width? There, good. So I have 15 times 6. Dylan, can you get me that answer, please?
Um,
15 times 6, please.
yeah, no. 90.
Yes, 90 units squared. Now we come down here, this rectangle. Area equals length times width. Use your fingers, use your fingers. So Hudson, look up here. What would our length be of this piece? If you don't know, I'll walk you through it. Yes. Okay, put your fingers on the outside. Lila, do this with me. Lila, that's 15, right? Now go like that. How would I find the distance between your fingers? What do you get? Beautiful job. And then what would be this little piece? Bingo. Yes. So that's going to be 9 times 3, which we already have is 27 units squared. And then our last little beast here, that's area equals leg times leg over 2. Learn to use your fingers, guys. That's super important. That seems simplistic. So going like this, Devin, what would they be that distance right there?
6.
Bingo. What about this?
3.
Yes. That's going to be 6 times 3 over 2, which makes that 3, which makes that area 9 units squared. And then you just add it up. Use your fingers, friends. Use your fingers to do your measurement. You have basically 15 minutes to finish the rest of the packet, including the top 2 problems. And you may skip problem number 6 on the last page only. So Lua, let's do this problem together. You ready? Okay, what kind of shape is that? Parallelogram. How do you find area of a parallelogram? Beautiful, because it, yes, area equals base times height. Good job. Okay, great. Go like this with your fingers. Do you see that's completely horizontal? That means I start at -2 and I go to 4. How many units is that? Okay, so I start at -2, so I go 1, 2, get this to 0. And then to 4, I go 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, so your base is going to be 6. Your height is straight up and down. Look at my finger. Yes, ma'am. And your answer? Try it again. Come on, one time. 3 times 6. Good. 18, and then units squared. Ta-da! Now, what shape do we have down here? Cool. What shape is this now? So how do you find area of a triangle? Remember, a triangle is half a parallelogram. Remember that? So a parallelogram is what? No, the parallelogram is, so base times height, but it's over 2, because it's half. You get that? Okay, so look at what we have here. What would our base be? Which is? -24. Then we go like this. Do we have our height? Call that x over 2. Now, could you read? I actually skipped the actual question. Could you read that? So where did that 120 go? Yeah, so in this equation, where does the 120 go? Wait, do you see area? There you go, 120. Pop that over 1, cross multiply and solve. You got it? Good job. Students, I'm showing a problem that some students have found a little tricky here. Problem number 3 on this page. If you would like to do this problem with me, send out a quick chat and I'll pull you into a breakout room. Top of page 3, problem 3. If you'd like to do that problem with me, send me a quick chat. I'll pull you into a breakout room. Thank you, Cameron. Anybody else? You want to do problem 3, page 3. Last call, folks. Decimals are always possible, kiddo. That's where you're at, right?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Here's the sequence. Okay, Cameron, join me. Edwin, do you want to follow with us? Okay, I'll just leave it up to them. Alrighty, Cameron, thanks for playing along there. Guaranteed, somebody's gonna need more help and they just weren't willing to ask for it. Okay, welcome back. Cameron, what'd you do over Easter break, ma'am?
I hung out with some friends and I slept a lot.
You're a teenager. That is a luxury, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, let's do the top. What's x plus x?
X squared.
Oh, try that again, dear. X plus x is how many x's?
2. Oh, 2x.
Yeah, there you go, 2x. What's x times x?
X squared.
There you go. So that's kind of the difference there. Can you read the problem out loud for us there?
Yeah. The area of a rectangle is 600 centimeters squared. The length of the rectangle is 1 1/2 times greater than the width. What is the perimeter?
Okay, great. So I'd like you to take about 30 seconds and just label with the information you have. And let's see if we label kind of the same. Just label it. Okay, let's see how you did. So we have the area. So area equals 600 centimeters squared. Length is, do you notice that that's an equal sign, right? Cameron?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be 1 1/2 times the width. So the length is that. That's W, and then this is 1 1/2 W. You okay so far?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Ba 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 ba. What is it we actually want?
The perimeter.
Right. So what's this? P equals question mark. You never start with what you want. You always start with what you have. You ready? What is it you have?
The area, so 600 centimeters squared.
So yeah, area equals length times width. So we have 600 equals. Now what are we going to use for length?
The 1 1/2.
Yeah, W times, and your width is W. Are you okay with what I just did?
Yes.
Okay. So what would the next line read there? I'm going to change this to an improper fraction. So 1 1/2, that's going to be 3/2. You okay with what I just did?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have 600 equals 3/2 what?
Width.
I got W times W.
Oh. 2W.
That's why we did this up here, dear. W times
W
W.
squared.
That's the ticket. Okay, so the opposite of 3/2 is what?
2/3.
Yes. These cancel. 3 goes into 600 how many times, ma'am?
200.
200 times 2 is?
400.
You're so correct. Equals W squared. What's the opposite of squaring?
Square root.
Yes. That's a perfect square. What number is that?
Hold on. 20.
Yep. So what you have found so far is only the width. You have not found the length yet. But ultimately what you want is the perimeter. I think you can take it from there. What do you think?
Yeah.
Excellent. Take it down. Sure, sure, sure. Yeah, the answers are right. You are wise to have asked because sometimes on the first day of the week, not everything's right. All righty. Tell me what you understand so far. Okay, so that area equals 6 m squared. The length is, that's an equal sign. 1.5 of the width. You okay with that? Get it? And then that means this is width. You okay? Okay. Now we're going to circle plug check. I'm going to replace the word A with what? Yeah, 600 equals, what's my length? What am I going to replace length with? No. 1.5 what? No, 1.5 W. Yeah, because that's what it says, right? The length is 1.5 times greater than the width. So that's going to be 1.5 W times the W, because it's length times width. Does that make sense? Okay, here's the trick to the whole problem here. What is W times W? No, just W times W in general. Like up here, what's X plus X? No, how many X's? Okay, so that's 2X. What would X times X be?
Attention high school students. Please remember to social distance during lunch.
Is
Only 1 or 2 students per table, and please stand on a 6 feet apart while waiting in line for food.
we're timing
Thank
something
you
by
and
itself.
enjoy your lunch break.
Okay, watch there. If I go 3 times 3, we would call that 3 squared, right? So X times X is, there we go. So what would W times W be? There it is. Your next line reads 600 equals 1.5 W squared. Are you okay with that step now? Good. So it's actually easier to work with improper fractions. So 1.5, that's like too big. Okay, it's 1.5 cups. How many half cups would that be? Total? Half cup. 3, exactly. So it's 3 halves. Very good. So I have 3 halves. Bye, guys. If you're not done, it becomes part of your homework. So I have equals 600. You okay with what I'm doing?
Remember to place 6 feet apart and keep your mask on.
What could I multiply 3 over 2 times what to get 1? Yes, ma'am. I'm going to multiply both sides by 2 over 3. You okay with that? Both sides, whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. Okay, so now technically that's going to be 600 divided by 3. You see what we're doing? What's 600 divided by 3? Bye now. Yes, ma'am. It's technically, hang on, kiddo. Yes, ma'am, 200. And then times by 2. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so now you may use a calculator if you choose to, equals W squared. Bye, Edwin, good to have you. The opposite of squaring is, there you go, and this is a whole number. The square root both sides. 400 square root. You got it. So now you just found the width is 20. How would you find the length? Yeah, 1.5. So 20 times 1.5. Got it? Question, buddy? Tomorrow, for tomorrow. Are you here before school? How about we come in during that time? Because I have another student that comes at that time before school, so we can do them together. Sound good? Okay. Yes, ma'am. Now, what is the question actually asking? Yes, only because I need to do some photocopies right now. Lovely. Oh, I am so glad you actually did like this with your fingers. Add it up. I've got you trained. You're using your hands. I'm so thrilled. 100 what, kiddo? No, just centimeters. Yeah, just centimeters. Hi, Dylan. Mr. Ross, did you need some help, gentlemen?
No,
No,
almost
all
done.
right. Thank
All
you.
right. Bye, guys.